Mess it up, we get to tweak it up. About a week ago. Hey, yo, what's up, man? It's your boy Daryl, aka Chambers Nation, man, and we are here with another episode of Ingenuity Inspired Greatness podcast. We are back with another episode. So today, what I want to talk about is routine. So I want to talk about routine. I want to talk about the importance of having a routine, establishing a routine, and talk about finding a routine that works for you. All right? So last year, approximately September of, not even last year, sorry, 2018, September of 2018, I started to work out every single day, and I started to get up approximately around 4 a.m. And I would go to sleep earlier, and this was a very difficult adjustment for me personally because I had always been a night owl. In college, I stayed up late. High school, I would stay up late. I always stayed up late, so I went from staying up late to going to sleep early and getting up early. But when I started to get up early at 4 a.m., I'd get up early, then I would pray. After I would pray, I would read my Bible, read my word, study a couple scriptures, and then after then I would do what's called Qigong. So Qigong is a type of breathing exercise that you could do to help your organs to function properly. So I would do that, stretch, and then I would go out for a walk. And so I started walking every single day because I was listening to Eric Thomas, and he was talking about how he got up and he walked every day when he was praying and doing those different things. So I started to get up and started to walk every single day. And I would walk, like, when I started to walk, that's the time of the year when it was starting to get cold. And so when I started to do those different things, and then once I got that finished, I started to work on my book. So I would take that time in the morning, right after I was working out, praying, and meditating, I would be working on my book. And so by the time 9 o'clock came around and it's time for me to go to work, I didn't really feel any particular way about going to work because I got up early and I started to work on my projects and I started to work on my things before I started to go out and work for somebody else. And so by the time when I got to work, I was already operating at such a high level that when I started to do the different work there, it was easier for me to do it. It was easier for me to deal with the people at work. It was easier for me to have conversations. It was easier for me to do those different things because by the time I woke up, by the time I was getting to work, I had been woke 4 or 5 hours. So it was easy for me to do the things that I need to do. And after I did that for approximately about like 3 or 4 months, and once I did that for 3 or 4 months, I tried to go back to, getting up later and doing that. But by the time I tried to switch it off because I was going home for the holidays. And so that's why I had cut it off, because I was going home for a couple weeks in December. And I was like, okay, during this time, maybe I'm not going to get up as early. And what I noticed is my body was still getting up early. Even though I didn't have to go to work, there was still work to be done. But I know that I operate at my highest when I'm getting up at that time. I operate at my highest when I'm going to sleep at a certain time. And I operate at my highest during those times because I get to work on my stuff before I get to work on somebody else's stuff. So not only was I working on a book during that time, I was working on the application during that time. So I was working on the Android application and the book simultaneously during that time. And so it was easier for me, like I said, it was easier for me to do those things that I got to do at work. And then after work, I would continue to work on those things. And so continuing to work on those things after work felt like extra credit in the class because I'm working on these things after I done went to work, and I already had got some time in earlier during the day working on those things. Not to mention, maybe I got some time during lunch to work on it. So I'm spending a lot of time working on the things that I love to do and the things that I like to do. So when it came time for me to work on things for other people, people that I work for, people that I volunteer for, I just was it was easier for me to do those things. And not to say that I didn't have hard days when I was on that routine, but that routine man, was great. And at the same time, when I was working on getting up early and going to sleep early, I was also changing my food lifestyle. So I wasn't eating chicken. I wasn't eating ice cream. I wasn't eating pizza. I wasn't eating any of those things. And I had so much more energy, which allowed me to be able to get less sleep if I needed to. So if I needed to operate off 6 hours, 4 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours, whatever it may be, I was able to operate off of that because I was feeding the right things into my body. And so the reason I want to talk about that is because you need to find a routine that works for you. Find something that you can do that works for you routinely every single day. And once you get into that rhythm, once you get into that routine, it will make doing everything else that you need to do in your life a lot easier, because once you're doing what you like to do before you go and start to do what somebody else wants you to do, it makes your life a hell of a lot easier, because you get to work on you and get to work on your goals, you get to work on your passion, you get to work on the things that you love and the things that you like to do and the things that are important to you. And when you get to work on that first, before you go and work for somebody else, I feel like that should make, and not necessarily all of the time, because you may have a hard job or you may have a hard career or you may be doing something that you don't necessarily like to do, but that'll change your attitude. And when you change your attitude, you change your perception. And when your perception changes, how you handle something changes, because I believe how you do anything is how you do everything. So you have to be very particular with how you're handling yourself and how you going about doing things. And if you work on your stuff first, how you handle everybody else's stuff, it just trickle on down, and it'd be that much easier. So that's it for this. That's it for this episode, man. I just wanted to quickly talk about that routine, and I want to talk about my routine and how I got into doing my routine that I still do now. And man, it's a great routine to have. Find a routine that works for you, because once you can get into the rhythm, once you can get into creating, and once you can get into working on the things that are important to you, working on anything else for somebody else will be easier for you.